1:45 a.m. The jagged coastal mountains along the Strait of Hormuz are completely silent, but 200 feet below solid rock, an apocalyptic countdown has just begun. Deep inside a fortified subterranean bunker, Iranian proxy forces are actively fueling 6 massive, heavy payload ballistic missiles. Their target, a U.S. Navy carrier strike group patrolling the dark waters just miles away. If those massive steel silo doors open, billions of dollars of American naval power and thousands of lives will be vaporized in minutes. The global economy will crash before Wall Street even opens, as 20% of the world's oil supply is instantly choked off. The enemy thinks they are completely invisible. They believe their walls of concrete and steel make them untouchable. They think they are out of America's reach. They are dead wrong. The last underground ballistic missile network threatening the Strait of Hormuz was now just minutes away from becoming fully operational. Hidden deep within the jagged coastal mountains, these fortified launch pads were specifically designed to rain destruction on the United States Navy and choke off the world's most critical energy supply line. But America was not going to wait for the first shot. In a massive synchronized joint operation, the silent, deadly precision of SEAL Team 6 was about to combine with the overwhelming brute force of the United States Marine Corps. This was a decapitation strike, a mission to tear out the enemy's capabilities by the roots and ensure absolute freedom of navigation in the Middle East. At a classified forward operating base under the cover of night, the selected SEAL operators began their preparations. The ready room was completely silent, filled with the calm, focused intensity of men who make a living in the world's most dangerous environments. SEALs packed their waterproof tactical bags with suppressed HK-416 rifles, panoramic night vision goggles, breaching charges, and encrypted communication gear. Every single piece of equipment was checked, tapped, and secured. Magazines were loaded with heavy subsonic ammunition designed to drop targets silently. Body armor was tightened, and oxygen masks were calibrated for a high-altitude, high-opening halo jump. These were the quiet professionals, chosen to drop from the freezing edge of space directly into enemy territory. Miles away, on the massive flight deck of the USS America, the Marine Raiders were preparing the heavy hammer. MV-22 Osprey tiltrotor aircraft spun their massive blades, the engines whining with raw power. Marines in full battle rattle climbed up the ramps, securing their M4 carbines, heavy machine guns, and anti-armor weapons. They performed final checks on their helmets and radios. Their mission was clear: wait for the SEALs to silently blow open the blast doors, then fly in like a thunderstorm to secure the perimeter and obliterate anything left standing inside the mountain. Major John Vance, the ground force commander, gave the final briefing over the encrypted network. He projected the 3D layout of the enemy mountain fortress. "The SEALs will take the roof," he said, tracing a line from the sky to the mountain peak. "They disable the ventilation and breach the main silo doors. The moment they blow the locks, the Marines crash the front gate. Complete violence of action. We do not stop until every launcher is turned to dust." The execution began at 0200 hours. A C-17 Globemaster flying at 30,000 feet opened its rear ramp. The SEALs stepped off the edge, plunging into the freezing darkness. They free fell for thousands of feet before deploying their black canopies, gliding silently like predators in the night wind. They landed flawlessly on the rocky ridge directly above the enemy bunker. Moving with lethal efficiency, the SEALs eliminated the outer perimeter guards. Suppressed shots echoed softly in the wind, quick, precise, and completely unnoticed. They planted specialized thermite charges on the massive steel ventilation shafts and the heavy reinforced blast doors of the missile silo. Breaching in 3, 2, 1. The charges detonated with a blinding flash, melting through inches of reinforced steel in seconds. The blast doors collapsed inward, The silent phase was over. At that exact second, a swarm of MV-22 Ospreys and AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters crested the mountain ridge. The Vipers opened fire immediately, their 20mm rotary cannons raining absolute hell down on the enemy barracks and heavy machine gun nests below. The coastal base erupted in fire and chaos. The Ospreys flared aggressively, touching down right at the entrance of the bunker. Ramps dropped, and U.S. Marines poured out into the smoke, their weapons blazing. They moved as a single, unstoppable unit, pushing directly into the underground complex. Inside the tunnels, Iranian proxy fighters scrambled to arm the missiles, but they were too late. The SEALs were already dropping from the ceiling access shafts, clearing the upper gantries with surgical deadly precision. The Marines pushed from the ground floor, overwhelming the defenders with flashbangs, heavy suppressing fire, and unmatched tactical aggression. The enemy was caught in a brutal crossfire. Within 15 minutes, the main launch cavern was entirely secured. The massive, multi-million-dollar ballistic missiles sat useless on their launch pads, surrounded by victorious American forces. Explosive ordnance disposal teams quickly moved in, rigging every single missile, fuel tank, and control console with heavy C4 charges. Major Vance gave the order to fall back. The SEALs and Marines loaded back onto the Ospreys, lifting off into the early morning sky. As the aircraft cleared the blast radius, the detonator was triggered. The entire side of the mountain blew outward in a spectacular, earth-shaking explosion. A massive fireball rolled into the sky as the underground fortress was completely vaporized. The immediate threat to the Strait of Hormuz was permanently erased. The operation was a flawless testament to American military dominance. No loud celebrations, just the quiet satisfaction of warriors returning to base after a job perfectly done. As the sun rose over the Arabian Sea, the first massive oil tankers began to move safely through the channel, protected by the steel shield of the U.S. Navy. The mountain was gone, but the American presence remained. If you stand with our troops and want to see more tactical breakdowns of American military dominance, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. The mission never ends.